Was your sense of relief a little bit, Dennis, as well as obviously joy at getting your first win? Bit of relief in that as well?
Of course there is. No, it's not. I'm not as hard as stone. It's like we've been working really hard. The lads we've been close 2 or 3 times this year to getting that monkey off our back. And like I said, the Wigan game here, the Catalan game, like I said, a couple of really good patches in games. I think what we saw on the weekend was we trained really well that week. We had a determination about us. We knew our backs were against the wall, and we just came out and we upped our tempo a little bit. And I think just that desire that's in the side, just not to be knocked off track. And I think maybe, like say, you look at the head knock to Stefan and the head knock to Greg, and then the injury to McGrath in the first half, and you see like the lads, they don't fold, they get more resilient because it seems like things are just going against us now. The only way to kick back when things go against you is just to stand strong and stand together. And I think, like I say, we had some displays on the weekend that did that.
So he got back to a point, didn't he, with what, I don't know, maybe 20 to go or something like that, 25, 24. That must have seemed like a long way, that last 20 minutes.
It was, well, it was about 16 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was 16 minutes of, I said on the clock was 16 minutes, and like that, the next 6 minutes were like half a rugby league. It was a long 6 minutes, just because you could see us just real fatigue kicking in. We had no substitutes left. We had nowhere to go. Like young Danny had come on and bashed himself to bits and wanted to join the club. I think he got a concussion, so he wanted to join the concussion club that was being put in place that day. And then you're calling on Manasseh, who's not played. Greg Burke had been out there and not played. I mean, lads that hadn't played a lot of minutes out on their field. JJ's been coming up off the bench and not played a lot this year. Asking those to do 60, 70 minutes. JJ Tarpal did 72 minutes in the front row. It was, for a young kid in that position, it was fantastic. And then, like I say, Jordan Johnson did 80 minutes in probably the toughest position on the field. And they were looking for him early. And he was outstanding. He's just so tough. Quality of his break and his pass on the 2v1 was, under the fatigue element that he was under, was outstanding.
And we've got to give a mention, I think, to Danny Craven, haven't we? A hat-trick of tries, really well taken ones as well.
And what he did was, I think he fed off Tom. Tom's a good talker, I say, and Tom kicked well, he organised the game really well. And Danny sort of grew on the back of that. Like I said, his first 2 or 3 touches were outstanding. He puts us on a break where Steph Marsh gets knocked out down the short side on the last play option. His kicking game was good, could be better a couple of times, but was solid. And he's got a turn of pace and his strength. And what was pleasing was he spotted things that we spoke about in the week. He's starting to see now the game from that position. It's hard, like I said, he's only 6 or 7 games into it. Played a little bit through the pre-season, but he's played a lot of fullback. He's not played here for a year. He's played half on a few occasions over the last 2 or 3 years, and he's starting to grow into that left-sided half position, and he's starting to see the possibilities of when to run, when to pass, when to kick, and his confidence is just getting better and better, and he's got all the ability to be able to do what he did on the weekend. I say his support try was fantastic. It was just a classic half-back poacher kind of try, but his other 2 tries as well, spotting the weakness in the defensive line, the acceleration, the way he carries the ball, causes a threat, just gives him an opportunity to do what he did.
Do you think there's a bit of a last chance saloon element with Danny this year? Because I suppose there was a danger of him drifting out of rugby league, perhaps even if he didn't take the chance this year. I think in the last year of his contract.
I think he's come back in, he's taken opportunity, and sometimes you like to be surprised. I say it was one of those with Danny that you always knew that there was a lot in him, a lot of ability. He just had to believe himself. People around him were fed up of telling him how good he was. They had to then step up to that mark. And to be fair, there was a lot of pressure put on him at certain times. He played well, he got injured, he came back into the side and didn't play as well. He got injured again. And like I say, a lot of responsibility as the expectation grew within this group to put onto Danny that he probably wasn't ready for. He's gone out, he's seen what the world's like outside of this club, and he's toughed it out when he's played, and he's come back and And we've seen an opportunity in him when he came into pre-season because of how he was training, and I'm just a glint in his eye. And then sometimes everybody else's misfortune is somebody's fortune. Even though we bemoan the fact that we have had no halves this year, we lost 3 of our starting halves. It's given Danny an opportunity to play in the team regular, and we're starting to see the benefit of that.
And Tom Gilmore brought that bit of direction. He scored a try from his short kicking game, and he brought you that bit of direction and know-how, didn't he, in the middle?
Well, he's like I say, Danny scores 3 and Tom assists in 2. I mean, that's something we've been missing from our halves. Like the short kicking game and the pass to Brooks on the last tackle play, the start of the second half. So he's got 2 assists in there as a half, which is what you want. And Danny's got 3 tries, and Tom then kicks the goals. Because that's what Tom is. He said, like, yeah, we'd lose a goal kicker, somebody else doesn't want to do it, and Tom goes, yeah, I'll kick goals. Kicks them from the sideline. It's nice when you've got that kind of confidence and belief in yourself, and that's Tom. So is it the first game back stuff? It's probably that fire in his belly and ready to go. No, we need some consistency from him. He needs to play well. Like I say, we could end up with a situation where we've had no halves to giving the coaches a headache to who to pick. If Joey trains as well as he's been training this week, so looking at the physios and the medical team to give him a big tick on his form to say ready to play, not just fit.
3 off with head knocks this week, Dennis, who couldn't come back. I think there was 2 last week. Is something going on in rugby league, or is there something that we need to look at here?
I think it's just the nature of the game. Like I say, the protocols are in there now, and some of them you would get away with. A couple of years ago, you shake them off, you wash them around, and people come back. But I think, and rightly so, there's a strong feeling now that we've got to protect the players out there. Is there a way to actually change that with them when you look at how many substitutions you've got and how many subs you've actually got on the field to cover for that kind of stuff, so the game doesn't get affected by just clashes of heads? And I think along the way, like you say, somebody hits somebody high and you're losing for the game. There's got to be a bit of a better penalty than just even a yellow card. I think you saw it against Lee and Warrington. Kevin Brown comes off, he's their main playmaker. I think it was Stewart goes off for 10 minutes, comes back on and plays a big part in the game. Now is that right? But it's not. But that's the nature of the game, where Stewart only gets a rest and Kev doesn't play again. One's a pivotal player and one's just a forward on the field. I like there's debate about it, but the problem you have is, we're going to another region, is what happened in France in the French-Wales game. You put a rule in place, people will try and manipulate it, and you put something there, and morally you'd like to think everybody's got morals and ethics that will stick true, but when you put in livelihood on the line and win and lose, they get a little bit grey. And that's the problem that the game has. We had it with the blood bins. You get a free blood bin. There's a couple of 100 blood bins that year. You take away the blood bin being free, and all of a sudden there's no blood bins. Where did 300 come from? That's the debate you're always going to have a look at.
Player personnel wise, then. So Mel's in with a shot this week. Is he being back?
Yeah. Again, it's a short turnaround for some of the fellas, and from Saturday to Friday, and then we've got another short turnaround from Friday to Thursday, and then we've got a Thursday to Monday, and then we've got a Monday to a Friday. So now getting people back on their feet is going to be paramount, and not breaking people too quickly. Like I say, we've got Corey's hopefully going to be recovered enough this week to participate in full-time training and be up for selection. Pat Van's back in full training this week as well. Joey Miller's right on the edge of being cleared to play. Like, he's gone through got some pretty stringent protocols here for, especially someone of Joey's, to get back into the side the way he plays and the injuries he had. We've got to be pretty tough on seeing when he's ready. So, because it can't be a 10-15 minute run out. He's got to be ready. He's got to be ready. He's got to be ready to play. The same with all of them. Christine, as well. He comes back into ready to play protocol stuff. So hopefully, if not this week, I'm hopeful he's ready for next week, leading into the Warrington game. If we can keep bodies on feet, then like I say, it should be a nice place to be for the first time this year, with a decent roster to be able to pick people that on form, and also because you can rotate a little bit to get people playing.
And those who went off on Saturday with the head knocks, are you expecting all them to... What McGrath looked like went off doing some sort of strange dance. I'm not sure what that was.
He whacked to his nerve in his back. I know it was... the lads have had a good laugh at that at each other at the moment. And
I thought it was a head knock actually, because the way
he was walking, we was as well. So we were sat in the stand, and I made a similar point to you. We saw the way he was walking and thought, oh God, there's another one. And we looked back, and there wasn't anything in the tackle apart from, like you say, he's twisted and he's got a bit. Somebody's put pressure through his back, and it's not. I don't think it's something he's had it before, not for a long time, where he just seemed to lose the use of one of his legs. And the reason he didn't come back was that the physios just weren't sure. So we'll have him scanned, see where he is this week. Like I say, we're not really sure whether he'll be right or not, but he seemed okay after the game. It was just one of those freak kind of injuries. But if you get a chance to look on some lads have put it out on one of their sites with some music to it, it looks pretty funny.
And the head knock boys, are they expecting
they're
to
on,
be all right?
it's a 6-day protocol. We got 6-day turnaround, so we did just about make it. So if they're symptom free the next couple of days, then they'll be okay. Touch wood.
Wakefield are going all right, aren't they, Dennis? They had a great comeback win against Lee, and I didn't see the Castellan game on Saturday, but they've won away in France, and that can't be bad.
That can't be bad. I think they're playing really well. They're both, I think Finn and Williams are both playing really well, giving them some direction. Fafita's causing lots of damage. I think Scott Griggs is probably one of the signings of the year when you watch the way he plays. Like you say, he's given them lots of opportunities, and both their wingers are dangerous in scoring tries out of nothing, like long range tries. So you've got to be really switched on the back of your kick chase and any kind of kicks where you're looking to compete yourself. Because both, I think it's Ben Jones Bishop and Johnston are very dangerous, both very quick. I think Johnston's got a fantastic future ahead of him. Like he looks like an international kind of winger. Like I say, a couple more years moving forward, he's very dangerous and he's big, he's strong, and he scores tries. So we've got the monkey off our back, so to speak. Gives a bit of confidence, but we've got to go to a place which is notoriously tough to win at, and they're playing with confidence, and they'll want to keep rolling forward on the back of a couple of turbulent years and fighting their way back into the 8 last year and holding their nerve this year and staying there. It's going to be a good clash.
Since Chris Chester got there, I mean, it looks like he's done a great job, doesn't he? They look like they're going into a bit of meltdown when Brian Smith left, didn't they? And he's turned that around as well as you could expect, really.
I think Chris is I took OKR, an unfancied OKR to a Challenge Cup final. He knows how to get the players moving in the right direction. He knows how he wants to play. I think John Kay's been a great help to him as well. And he's a decent coach, and he just got buy-in. He got a lot of buy-in. And from all intents and purposes, from what I heard, from what Brian Smith was doing there, it was pretty easy. I think he was playing a lot of mind games with them, and people weren't responding to those mind games. Chris came in and was honest, told them what he expected, told them if they didn't deliver that they wouldn't play, and I think they've responded in spades. And they're a hard-working group of players that are pretty unfancied, that turn up week in, week out and make it a challenge for you to play well.